Hi friends, welcome back to Social Studies class, and today we will continue our economics chapter 2 sectors of Indian economy. In the previous class we have seen the historical changes in the three sectors, and we have seen that how do we count the final goods and services, how the final goods and service value of the final goods and services are counted, and even we see discussed about GDP, gross domestic product. Today we shall study or discuss about changes or shift of occupation among the various sectors. We have been noticed that people are being shifting from one sector to another sector. What is the reason for the shift of occupation from one sector to another sector? Okay, and what makes them to shift? And what are the contribution, what changes have come among all the three sectors we will discuss today. See, students, from mostly 1973 till 2003, in past these 30 years, okay, if you see, lot of changes has come in the Indian economy, in the occupational structure in the Indian economy. We know that our country is agriculturally background country. Mostly the people most of the people in rural areas, their main occupation is agriculture or allied activities. But in the past decades, we have seen that people have started shifting from primary to secondary and mostly to service sector. Most of the changes, service sector has grown very fast in our country. By 2003, if we see, there were more number of people employed in the service sector than primary sector. The reason was that our country is a developing country. Okay, in a developing country where when the development process starts, so what happens? There is a very fast and drastic shift of the people from the occupational structure, that is from primary to service. Now you say in middle there is a secondary sector or industrial sector, but when primary sector is developing on a large scale, okay, we require more number of service sectors. Now we will discuss how it is possible. See, first of all, we will discuss the basic need of the developing country, which comes under the service sector. See, in a developing country or a country which is moving towards the developing, or it is developing all decade by decade. Example, we take our country itself, India. We have seen various service sectors upcoming where the lot of employment was generated. For example, you see police, defense, postal department, transport and communication. So these were the sectors where lot of employment were generated, okay, in the past 2 to 3 decades. That's why what I have seen that from the primary sector there was a lot of change or movement of the people towards the service sector. Now this is one point of view. Second point of view, if you say, now suppose if you are developing your primary sector and secondary sector, now to run these sectors we require various things which is related to the service sector. For example, if you take transport, if you are developing your primary sector, we need transport. If you are developing your secondary sector, we need transport. We need communication, we need banking, we need insurance facilities, and all this is generated by the service sector. So we have seen lot of people moving from primary sector to the service sector, but again there is a little drawback that in spite of this much faster movement, still we find the growth is not up to expected level. One more thing, see, when the income level of the people increases, or when the income level of the people rises, the standard of the people rises, various things they need in their daily life. Like for example, people need to go for outing, go to hotels and all for outing and all, weekly and all. So that also comes in the service sector. Now people need luxurious things in their houses. Okay. Now they require transport. They may have their own personal transport. They may go to tour for different places. So tourism industries will be developing, hotel industries will be developing. So in this way what happens, the service sector gains importance when a country's primary and secondary sector increases on a large scale. Again, if you see in the market, small things which is provided under the service sectors, okay, but these people are not getting benefit on a large scale. One more thing, the another drawback of this thing is there in service sector, why the people are not gaining much. There are even some seasonal or timely unemployment. For example, if you take in the market, we find plumber, we find painter, in market we find various small technicians who do the things, electrician and all. But these people, they do not find work every day. Okay, so what happens? They may find themselves as unemployed for that particular day and all. So this short unemployment problem still being faced in the service sector. Now apart from that, if you see in our country, still in the rural areas we see many people, they work in primary sector, that is agriculture sector. Okay, now we find various types of unemployment. For example, you take 1 hectare of land. 1 hectare of land is there. In that, 3 to 5 people are working. 3 to 5 persons are working. Now, in 1 hectare of land, 3 to 5 persons are working, but in reality, we require 1 to 2 people only. The remaining 3 people are, though they are working, but though they feel themselves as unemployed, but in generally they are unemployed, because in 1 hectare of land, if we take 1 or 2 people or 3 to 5 people, the production will be same. Because in agriculture sector, this is not going to provide employment throughout the 365 days. At the time of sowing, at the time of weeding, at the time of harvesting, and in between 1 or 2 times we require irrigation. But rest of the time people will be unemployment. That is why 1 to 2 people are enough for 1 hectare of people. If remaining 2 to 3 people, they work in another sector, maybe secondary sector or service sector, they generate some income which add extra income to the family. Okay, so such type of people who work in the agriculture sector and feel that they are employed, okay, such type of employment is known as underemployment. It is known as underemployment. Or it is also known as disguised unemployment. Disguised unemployment. Okay. Now, even there are people who work various types of work in day-to-day life, but that work may not be as per their qualification and profession. For example, one example I will give. Take a BTech student or a BTech qualified person. BTech means engineering. He might have done electronic or mechanical or software some engineering, but he could not find a job. Okay, and he is working as a teacher or a driver or any other part-time job he is doing. Okay, till he find. So he is not getting job as per his employment. So such type of also problem or unemployment facility is there in our country. Okay, next. How to increase the employment? How to raise the employment facilities? See, in our country, there are many agricultural areas, agricultural fields, okay, which are not able to provide irrigation, where irrigation facilities are not there. So, farmers grow only one type of crop in entire year, because remaining season they don't have irrigation facilities, so they don't grow crop. So only during the rainy season, that is Kharif crop is grown. Rabi season, the field is left uncultivated. So if irrigation facility is provided, or if what happen, if canals are made, okay, if tube wells and wells are done in that area, so irrigation will be made possible. So the farmers can have nearly two type of crop in a year. So what happened, the income of the farmer will be increased, the employment facility will be generated among the farmers, and when this thing happens, it requires other, it gives importance or source or facility for other sector also, like it gives importance to transport sector, banking sector. So various other sectors will be directly linked to this. So if government provides certain facilities to those areas where there is no proper irrigation facilities. Now based on this type of unemployment only in our country, in the year 2005, the government of India came with a right to work program. Right to work. And under this program, they launched a program known as NREGA. National Rural Employment Guarantee Act in the year 2005. Initially, it was started in the 200 districts of India. In the 200 districts of India. Now, what was the main basic feature of NREGA? Okay, the basic feature of National Rural Employment Guarantee Act was that to provide 100 days compulsory work. Minimum 100 days. Out of 365 days, minimum 100 days there should be a work. If the government or the employer able to or fails to provide 100 days guaranteed job to them, then they have to pay 100 days remuneration. Okay, now who will be working in NREGA? Okay, now from each BPL family, BPL, below poverty line, in our country we have divided the society based on the income. BPL, APL, above poverty line, below poverty line. So from each family, one member of BPL, below poverty line, will be enlisted in the NREGA, and he will be working in that, and minimum 100 days job guarantee is getting under the NREGA. If he doesn't work also, 100 days income he will be getting. If there is more work, they can continue more than 100 days also. So this is right to work, one program initiated. Such more program need to be initiated by the government of India to eradicate unemployment problem in our country, in the rural and backward areas. Okay, next. Apart from that, if you see, there are other various problems which we are facing in our country. You know, there are many places where we see people are unwilling to do work. Though they are provided work, they are unwilling to do work. They feel that the income which they are being provided is less to their expectation or not matching to their qualification and profession. In such situation also we find people are not working, which leads to unemployment. So what happened? So government has to come up more number of employment generation act like NREGA to provide employment facility. So students, I hope so you might have understood today's topic, that what are the changes being taking place in the sectors. That is, now people are moving very fast from the primary sector to secondary and service sector, mostly to service sector, because our country is a developing country and there is more scope of it in the service sector. But what happened, though the service sector is increasing on a large scale, but we find various type of unemployment. For example, you take one unemployment is seasonal unemployment. Now, what is seasonal unemployment? Seasonal unemployment is mostly related to the agriculture sector or primary sector. How? For example, in many areas, people or laborers work in the agriculture sector. So during the sowing or harvesting only they find the job. Maximum 45 to 50 days they get a job. Remaining they have to do some odd activities, like they have to work in the nearby towns or cities, like in the construction of the buildings, houses and all. They have to find work for their daily life. So this type of unemployment is very problematic and very often in countries like India, where majority of the people work in agriculture sector. So seasonal unemployment doesn't provide employment to the people throughout the year. That is why what happened, we find the unemployment rate or level is very high in our country, because out of 365 days only you see mostly in one agricultural season. Suppose one agricultural season is to take 90 to 100 days maximum. Any crop it takes 90 to 100 days from sowing till harvesting. Okay, but in 90 to 100 days mostly they get 45 to 50 days of work. So remaining days they will be unemployment. So they have to work in odd sectors like in construction of buildings, houses, roads or any other things where they earn income for their daily life. So seasonal employment is also one. For example, you take even in certain industries also, where raw materials are taken from the agriculture sector. The one and the best example is sugarcane industries. You know, in sugarcane industries, the industrialist or the employer doesn't keep large number of permanent employees. Okay, they keep only few permanent employees, remaining will be temporary employees, because they don't get raw material throughout the year. So during the peak season they need more number of people to work in the industry, so they take on the contract, they hire on contract basis for 1 or 2 months, maximum 3 to 4 months, not more than 6 months. Remaining after that time, they as per their contract they have to leave the job, and only few permanent member will be kept. So here also in sugarcane industry also you find seasonal unemployment, because its raw material is from the agriculture sector. So these all are the various type of unemployment which is existing in our country. Okay, so in next class we will study about organized and unorganized sector, public and private sector. By the time, go through the lesson and take care. Bye.